Well, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me out there on the streets okay? Orange shirts back there in the back and Blue shirts over here, great, okay. Welcome to the 48th annual Jour de Fete celebration. My name is Bill Nager, I'm your MC for the morning, and we have been listening to the German contingent of the St. Genevieve, tax-supported St. Genevieve Municipal Band. Thank you for German contingent over there, German band contingent. We'll hear a little bit more from them during the ceremony here. And they will be on the streets later today, I believe between 12 and 2. Today and tomorrow on their flatbed truck roaming the streets. But to get things started this morning, I would like to invite one of their members and a past queen of our Queen and King's Ball, King and Queen's Ball that we have here in St. Genevieve in February, Rosie Huey, to come up and lead us in the national anthem. And then once the song is finished, the Milice de Saint Genevieve, who made such a grand entry a few minutes ago, will be firing a volley. And they don't have real bullets in those guns, but they sound almost as loud. So you may want to cover your ears in that case. So, Rosie Huey, are you with us? Oh, here she is right back here. I turn the podium over to Rosie Huey for the national anthem. I'd ask you to please remove your hats and feel free to sing along.
I can't see you guys. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now I call your attention to the Milice de Saint Genevieve. Now I call your attention to the Milice de Saint Genevieve.
Amazon! Affronter! En jus! Couvre!
Told you it was loud.
Oh, yeah.
The police will be marching out of the area, so I'm not sure which direction they're going, but once they're
go on, the crowd can move in closer to the podium. And I suggest you not get in their way. One more round of applause for the least Genevieve and Rosie.
We'd certainly like to welcome the members of the Project Pioneer families this year, the Langelier family and the Fete families representing the French and German original settlers of St. Genevieve and St. Genevieve County. At this time, I'd like to introduce and welcome our Mayor of St. Genevieve, Mr. Richard Greminger, who would like to say a few words. Dick, if you come to the podium.
Good morning. On behalf of the City of St. Genevieve, I'd like to welcome you to the Jour de Fete. Looks like we're going to have a great weekend. Looks like the weather's going to hold off and keep the rain out. I'd also especially like to welcome the Fete and Langelier family. It's great to have you all here. Looks like we have a great representation of each family. Thank you. Also like to thank the Jour de Fete committee for all the hard work and time that they spend in on this project. It's certainly a benefit to the community. Looks like this year is bigger than it has been in a long time, and we certainly thank them for their hard work. Again, thank you. If there's anything that we can do for you, please let us know, and have a great time in St. Genevieve.
Thank you, Mayor Greminger. An event like this doesn't happen on its own. Even though we've been doing it for 48 years, we've got some things down, but every year there's plenty of things to take care of. And in that regard, I'd like to invite Brenda Hayden, Secretary of the Jour de Fete Committee, to come up and say a few words. Brenda?
Good morning. I'd like to say thank you for all the Pioneer family members for coming. This is probably as much your event as it is ours. This year we have almost 150. We had 150 crafters. We had some cancellations, but that's about 20 crafters up from last year, and a lot of these are new booths. These are new crafters coming in, so take your time and look through the booths. And I also want to thank Dick Reminger and the City Council for letting us kind of hijack the streets this weekend and put on our event. But I hope you all enjoy yourself. We got lots of local food groups, we got lots of crafts, and a lot of good entertainment. So please stick around for the whole weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. So each year since 1989, the Project Pioneers group has been recognizing one of the founding French and one of the founding German families of St. Genevieve. That's been ever since 1989. And at the end of the program today, they'll be drawing out of the hat next year's French and German families. And to speak to us on behalf of the Project Pioneer families is Bev Roth of that committee. Bev, if you would come up, and then she will introduce the guest speakers from the Langelier and Fete families. Beverly.
Good morning. Project Pioneer was started in 1989 by Lucille Basler to honor the German and French families of St. Genevieve, and have honored over 50 families so far. This year's families of the French Langelier and the German Fete. And this year we've moved into the Jean-Baptiste Valley House right across the street. So my first speaker will be for the German families. and that is Debbie Foff. During the past 10 years, Debbie has dedicated many addicting hours to learning about the Foff family history. She and her parents have traveled to Germany seeking the Foff family roots in Offenburg-Zell and the Weingarten Church. Herbert Foff, her father, met Herbert Foff, their distant cousin, in Germany. The Foff family from Germany have visited the Foffs in the United States too. Debbie is the great-great-granddaughter of Anton Foff of Zell, Missouri. Each and every Foff in the St. Genevieve area has descended from this one man, Anton Foff. Anton sailed to America from Germany in 1846. Have you ever wondered why the Foffs left Germany and where they're from? And when and how the Foffs came to America? Today, Debbie is going to tell us a little about the journey of the mother and Anton Foff on the road to Zell, seeking something old to rediscover St. Genevieve. Please join me in welcoming Debbie Foff.
Hi, I would like to welcome everybody to the Jour de Fete, especially all the Foffs. I am Debbie Foff, the daughter of Herbert Foff and the granddaughter of Leo Cooper Foff, both born and raised about 5 miles west of where we stand, in Zell, Missouri. Do you know what Foff means in German? The name Foff means parish or priest. Foff may have been a nickname for one whose behavior, spirit, or appearance resembled that of a priest or pope. This is why the crests on the t-shirts have the priestly-looking people on them. Now I will tell you a little bit about the journey of the mother and Anton Foff on the road to Zell, seeking something old to rediscover St. Genevieve. Who is the mother? The mother is Veronica Foff. In a German book listing those who immigrated, Veronica is listed simply as the mother of Elisabetha Giesler-Swice. Veronica Foff, at the amazing age of 69, was the first among all our St. Genevieve Foff ancestors to sail to America in 1840. She came with her daughter and her daughter's family, settling in the Zell, Missouri area. Veronica was Anton Foff's aunt. Anton Foff was the first and only identified St. Genevieve Foff male to sail to America. In 1846, at the age of 28, Anton sailed to America on ship Monument. Matthias Nager also came to America, and the Gremmingers also came to America on the same ship. Matthias was the great-great-grandfather of Bill Nager, our masters of ceremonies. The Gremmingers is the mayor's family. Others with names like Basler, Jogerst, Eckenfels, Giesler, Kiefer, Oberle, Hurst, Ritter, and I just added Oakenfuse, also came on ship Monument, all on the same ship. Do any of these names sound familiar? Anton's 2 younger sisters also came to America, settling in the St. Genevieve County area.
I might interrupt you for just a
Okay.
minute while we let the train go by. This tends to happen every this year, but what you're saying is so interesting, we don't want to miss a word.
All right.
While we're waiting for that, I learned a tidbit of information. And this is not something you have to remember, I'm just doing it as filler. Was with a railroad file, somebody that was very much into railroads. And we're not hearing it happen right now. But if you ever listen to a freight train make a crossing, you'll hear 2 longs, a short, and a long. Okay? You'll hear I never knew. Thank you very much, Martin. So, here you go. Am I right, guys? Because I see some of you out here nodding your head. That is an old European signal. It actually stands for, in Morse code, the letter Q. Da, da, dit, da. And it stands for the letter Q because when the Queen's ship was coming through the harbor, they sounded that signal on the ship to let everyone else know she has the right-of-way. This ship is coming through, stay clear. And that has been transferred from those days to railroad days to mean, look out, we've got the right of way, we're coming through. Da da did da. You don't want to forget that. It's an important thing you learned this morning. Bev, I think you're back up again.
All right. Okay, where were we? All right. Anton's two younger sisters also came to America, settling in the St. Genevieve County area. Teresia sailed on ship Mozart in 1843 and married Nicholas Herman. Sophia sailed on ship George Hurlburt in 1853 and married Anton Vogt and Franz Deck. Our German Pfaff ancestors were originally from Zell and Rammersweier in the Offenburg region of Baden in southwest Germany, on the edge of the Rhine River plain at the foothills of the Black Forest. Today, we still have Pfaff relatives in this area who my family and I have met. We saw Anton's family home on Weinstrasse in Rammersweier, Germany. Herbert Pfaff, my father, met Herbert Pfaff, our distant cousin, in Rammersweier. The Pfaff family from Germany has visited the Pfaffs in the United States too. Our German Pfaff ancestors were Catholic, poor, farmers, and wine growers. They left their families in Germany on the road to Zell, seeking something old. There was a large immigration wave in the Offenburg, Baden, Germany area in the mid-1800s due to lack of new farmland, hunger emergencies, and poor economic times. Land was divided equally among heirs, and some farm sizes had become so small that they could no longer support a family. So reports of cheap land in other countries lured people to leave. Many German immigrants cleared St. Genevieve farmland to the west, and farming became big business. By the middle of the 19th century, there were far more Germans than French in the St. Genevieve County area. St. Genevieve was rediscovered. The St. Genevieve, Missouri area has towns named Zell, New Offenburg, and Weingarten, all named after the immigrants' homeland regions in Germany. Our Pfaff ancestors sailed to America via Le Havre, France, and New Orleans. Then they took a steamboat up the Mississippi, ultimately landing in St. Genevieve, Missouri. They journeyed over 6,000 long and hard miles and probably more than 100 days from Zell, Germany, on the road to Zell, Missouri, to keep their roots and the families they wanted. I am the great-great-granddaughter of Anton Pfaff of Zell, Missouri, and each and every Pfaff out there with the Pfaff shirts in the St. Genevieve, Missouri area has also descended from this one man, Anton Pfaff. It's amazing when you truly think about it. After Anton immigrated to America, he followed his profession as a cooper, which is a maker of cask and barrels, in St. Louis for 2 years until he decided to become a farmer. He got married and moved to Zell, Missouri. Anton Pfaff married Louise Palmer Kaufmann. Louise was originally from Ebersweier, Germany, only 5 miles from Anton's hometown. Anton and Louise had 6 children. I am the great-granddaughter of Francis Xavier or Frank Pfaff of Zell, Missouri. So each and every Pfaff in the St. Genevieve, Missouri area has also descended from either Anton Jr. or Frank Pfaff, 2 of Anton and Louise's sons. They lived next to each other in Zell, Missouri, and each had 11 children. These Pfaff brothers farmed the 200-acre tract of land granted to Anton Pfaff, their father, in 1857. This land was known as Pfaff Hill or Breeze Hill. Sophie Pfaff, Anton and Louise's youngest daughter, married John Bosler, and they established the Bosler Funeral Home, which has been serving St. Genevieve County and surrounding towns for over 115 years. Mary Pfaff, another of Anton and Louise's daughters, married Joseph Meyer, who served for a time as assessor of St. Genevieve County until his untimely death. This talk does not give credit to the later Pfaff men and the many Pfaff women who carried on the family tradition with surnames such as Bowman, Biggerstaff, DeRoos, Grass, Greither, Geatley, Hinkebine, Jokers, Rutler, Roth, Schmelzley, Stolzer, Wagner, and others too numerous to name here. We all tie into one of Anton Pfaff's stepchildren or children. The Pfaffs and the French family, Langelaise, even connect through the Nager and Fallert surnames. The Pfaffs and the Langelaise also both settled on land adjacent to each other, west of River Aux Vaz, Missouri. All right, so to learn more about Anton Pfaff's German ancestors, his family in Germany, his Aunt Veronica and his sisters, his life, marriage, and children in America, please come see the free exhibit across the street at the new Jean-Baptiste Valley House. And there's also a book that one can purchase that has the family history and photos and family tree information, so you can see how you connect in. So I'm proud to be a Pfaff. Enjoy the Jour de Fete, and let's hear it for the Pfaffs. Thank you.
Wow, that was great. I remember Rammer's Leer. Before we move on to the Langelier side, our own Les Petits Chanteurs, St. Genevieve's, in this case, they would be Die Kleinen Sänger, right? Directed by my lovely wife, Patty Nager, and her contingent of little children who have been performing in St. Genevieve for various festivals, Jour de Fete included, for some 23, 4, 5, or 20, well, a long time. And 27, I'm stand corrected. So they would like to honor the Pfaff side of the family with a traditional German song. But before they do that, I'd like to recognize the Loretta, has anybody shown up that's older than you yet this morning? No. I would like to introduce the sprightly Loretta Pfaff Grass, the eldest member of the Pfaff line that's here with us this morning at a young age of 93. She's right up front. So, with our German heritage in mind, I present to you now for a song to honor the Pfaff family, the St. Genevieve's Die Kleinen Sänger. Wait a minute, Patty. Let Dawn get that mic up.
So what we're doing...
Wait a minute, Patty. There we go.
So what we're doing for you, for the German side, is we're doing a trilogy of 3 familiar German songs, and you probably know them. Ach du lieber Augustin, Du liegst mir in Herzen, and Mein Hut hat Dreiecken. And just for the fun of it, we do it to say each song a second time so that you can join in and also try to do the same motions that these guys are doing. Also, I wanted to say the Project Pioneer over at the Jean-Baptiste Ballet House, that's now owned by the Colonial Dames. It's owned by the Bolduc House Museum, and I'm the gardener now in these areas. So it's a beautiful building, and I'm so happy that they let you use it for the Project Pioneer.
Does it mean that I have to? I might know once we get going.
Ach, du lieber Augustin, 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 ach, du lieber Augustin, 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 Augustin,
Augustin, ach, du lieber Augustin, Augustin. Everybody. Ach, du lieber Augustin, 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 ach, du lieber Augustin, Augustin. Weißt es, wie du willst sterben? Ja, 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 ja. Weißt es, wie du willst sterben? Mein Hut, hat try again. Try again, hat mein Hut. Und hat mir ist try again. Denn das ist nicht mein Hut. Mein Hut, hat try again. Try again, hat mein Hut. Und hat mir ist try again. Denn das ist nicht mein Hut. Everybody try these actions. My Hut, hat try again. Try again, hat my Hut. Und hat mir ist try again. Denn das ist nicht mein Hut. My Hut, hat try again. Try again, hat my Hut. Und hat mir ist try again. Denn das ist nicht mein Hut, mein Hut.
Thank you, die kleinen Sänger.
Stick around because they're going to change their name in just a little bit here. So the last song that we were singing there is "My Hat, It Has Three Corners." Three corners has my hat. And if it does not have three corners, then it's not my hat. And the song before that was obviously a drinking song, and I'm wondering what kind of children you're trying to raise there, Patty. Okay. With that, I'm going to turn the podium back over to Bev Roth to introduce our French family for this year.
Speaking for the Langelier family is Earl Langelier. Earl is a 7th-generation Missourian. He is the son of Earl Langelier Sr. and the grandson of Lambert Langelier.
Good afternoon. One thing I found about this project is it just keeps going. It's been really interesting, and I want to thank everybody, and especially my wife. The Langelier family history can be traced back to Normandy, France, with the birth of Michel Langelier in 1580. Michael's son Sebastian was an early immigrant to New France, the area known now as Quebec, Canada. Sebastian most likely received money, land, and provisions from the French government to settle the area. The Langelier family history can be traced back to Normandy, France with Michael. One thing is for certain. Sebastian was without a doubt one tough Frenchman. Life in New France was brutal. Sebastian would have survived constant attacks by Iroquois Indians, as well as the English, and brutal winters, and a short growing season. After 50 years of attempting to establish a population, the number of French in New France was a mere 2,500 people. Many died and many returned to France. Sebastian, however, survived and married Marie Beauregard in 1665. Sebastian and Marie had 4 children, and thus began the Langelier population in Canada. It was common for the French-Canadian families to have 10 or 12 children. In fact, the French government paid them to do so, and the Langeliers did just that. Today, the largest population of the Langelier family can be found in the Quebec, Canada area and the northeastern United States. It was Sebastian's great-grandson, Joseph Langelier, born in 1739, that headed across the Great Lakes and down the Mississippi to settle in what was known as the Illinois country. Many French Canadians from the Quebec area migrated to Illinois in search of better farm ground, longer growing seasons. With the discovery of salt, rich agricultural ground, and mining opportunities, the settlers began to cross the Mississippi and establish St. Genevieve. The history of Joseph's life can be traced through militia records, census records, and church records. Joseph married Elizabeth Billeron on November 20th, 1769. They were married in the original vertical log church in Old St. Genevieve by Father Pierre Gibrault. It was a double wedding ceremony. Elizabeth's first cousin, Charles Valet, was also married in the ceremony. Charles was Elizabeth's first cousin because Elizabeth Billerson's aunt, Mary Ann Billeron, was married to Francis Valet. Francis Valet was the wealthiest, most powerful man in the upper Louisiana. Because of their family ties, Joseph and Elizabeth's home was located near Francis Valet's home, as described in his book, Francis Valet and His World. Joseph most likely farmed the Big Field, or Le Grand Champ, as it was called. Joseph and Elizabeth had 4 children. Their daughter Teresa died at age 3. 2 other daughters, Marie Claire and Elizabeth, married, had families, and remained in the St. Genevieve area. Joseph also had a son, Francis, by my great-great-great-grandfather. And as it turns out, Joseph's wife, Elizabeth, not the only tie to the famous, powerful Francis Valet family, Joseph's son, Francis Langelier, married Pelagie Karen. Pelagie was Francis Valet's granddaughter by his daughter, Marguerite Valet, which means all descendants of Francis Langelier are also direct descendants of Francis Valet. Francis and Pelagie's children and the following generations of Langelier settled in the River Oxboss area. Many members of the family received land grants and were issued in the mid-1800s. The Langeliers continued the French-Canadian tradition of having large families. Many of the families attended St. Philip's and James Church in River Oxbosses, and some are buried in this cemetery. Many of the Langelier ancestors were female. They married into other established St. Genevieve families, such as the Lallemadiers, LeBriers, Fallards, Naggers, Bauer, Beezer, Maurice, Hogemiller, Ellis's, and Harrell families. Many of the Langelier family are still living in the River Oxbosses in the St. Genevieve area today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Earl. And so now, to honor the Langelier family, Les Petits Chanteurs is going to perform a French song for us, or trilogy, a French song. But before they do that, I should like to take this opportunity to recognize the eldest member of the Langelier family that's here today with us, 78-year-old John Langelier. Jean, would you raise your hand and give us a wave there? Here he is right here behind the flagpole, folks. Okay. So now they've switched names to Les Petits Chanteurs, and they are going to perform for us a French chanson.
Thank you, Patty, and Les Petits Chanteurs in Decline and Sanger.
Chance to hear this group later today at the Project Pioneers event today, and you're performing tomorrow also. Do you know what times? Yeah, 1 o'clock today in the Jean-Baptiste Vallée House. Outside on the porch today. So they will be there. Just want to mention that the JB Valley House, Jean-Baptiste Vallée House, is the first time the Project Pioneers has been housed there. So if you're familiar with it having been in the other quarters, it's not. It's here this year. There's two entryways. The main entrance is right over here in the between the stone pillars and the iron gate, but there's a better handicap access from the Market Street entrance, which is right up this street and in. So, and this is a great opportunity to get to see the Jean-Baptiste Vallée House also, because it's open to the public today and tomorrow. It is the home of the last French commandant of Saint Genevieve, Jean-Baptiste Vallée. Okay, I'd like to now turn the podium back over to Bev Roth for the drawing of next year's Project Pioneer families. Beverly?
All right. First, we're going to draw the French name. Got it?
Derouche.
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 And now we'll draw the German. All right, a lot of them in there. That one. Klein.
Small.
Okay. Thank you to Project Pioneers, the Langelier and Foff families for participating and being part of this year's Jour de Fete. And next year we look forward to having the Derousses and the Kleins. That should be another big outing, huh? So we're about to the end of our program here. Good thing, since another train decided to come through. Did they do it? I wasn't paying attention. Long, short, long. Also, for any first-timers to St. Genevieve, or if you'd like to get reoriented to St. Genevieve, I want to mention that the Welcome Center right here behind me is a great place to start your visit in St. Genevieve. It's a great place to get oriented to what we have here today or any other time that you can decide to come back and visit us here in St. Genevieve. With that, I'd like to welcome you to Jour de Fete, and if I have the authority to say let's get it underway, I think it's already happening out on the streets. I'd like to turn it back over to our German band to wrap it up for us. And remember, these folks will be out touring this afternoon between 12 and 2 today and tomorrow, doing some more of their German music. So if you enjoy that, raise your glass and cheer them on. Thank you all.
Channel 7 and 98 TV and web broadcasting are made possible through contributions and donations from viewers like you. Thank you for your support.